Okay, welcome back to my podcast where I'm reading through my entire book, The Ultimate A to Z of Business English Idioms. In this episode, we're going to tackle the letter M. This is Business English Idioms, starting with the letter M. We have lots to get through. Let's jump right in. Those of you who have the book at home, we're going to be tackling page 81 and 82 of the book. If you don't have the book, no problem. I'm going to put the entire page of the book up on the screen there. And if you do want to buy the book, it's available on Amazon worldwide. I'll put the link down in the bio. Okay, let's jump right into essential business English idioms, starting with M. The very first one is make a killing. To make a killing just means you make a lot of money, a huge amount of money. I'm going to read you the examples here. Make a killing. The meaning: to earn a large amount of money, usually quickly and easily. Example: she made a killing when she invested in that startup early on. So we'll make a killing if we get into this field, get into this market before our competitors do. Or he really made a killing when he invested in aerospace. So to make a killing means you make a lot of money, usually more than you anticipated or in an easier way. It's a fantastic one. Next one here is make ends meet. Now, make ends meet, look at the ends of something. And if you make them meet, it's a smooth transition. So to make ends meet is a little bit different. I mean, this is an idiom. This is English. These are English idioms. To make ends meet means you're able to finance something, to pay for the basics of something. I'm going to read you the meaning and an example here. Okay, make ends meet: to manage one's finances or to live within one's income. Okay, so if you can make ends meet, it means you have enough money to pay your basics, your food, your accommodation, what you need to do, what you need to spend money on to get by. That's to make ends meet. In a company, to make ends meet, we bring in enough revenue to cover our costs and to invest in more things. Let me read you an example here from the book. It's been tough, but we've been able to make ends meet even with reduced revenue. So a company's going through a really down time in regards to sales or income, but if they cut certain costs, they're able to make ends meet, and it means you're able to pay all of your bills. Next one here is make headway. I love this one. Make headway. I love all these idioms. When I started writing this book, I wrote the book because I was teaching business English and I couldn't find a resource of business English idioms that were used globally, not just the States, not just the UK, but used globally in business English that were relevant. Because some older idioms we don't use anymore. Some older idioms we still do use, but there wasn't really a resource for this. So this is why I wrote this book, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys here. But so every idiom I go, oh, I love this one, because I love them all. Idioms are so beautiful in business English. They really do paint a picture of an entire scenario, feeling, perspective, scope of something in a small amount of words. I'm sure you use idioms a lot in your language. In English, they're beautiful, and they're used so much more in business English than regular English. Okay, let's go into make headway. Make headway, to make progress towards a goal. Okay, so you have a goal, you have your target. If you are making progress, like you're hitting all those little steps in the road to get towards your goal, you're making headway. Let me give you an example here. We're finally making headway on the projects after weeks and weeks of setbacks. So we're finally making headway, which means we've had some setbacks. Setbacks is like an obstacle, something that delays your progress, and now we're making headway. It means you are just on that freeway, on that motorway towards your goal, and you're going in the right direction. That's make headway. Next one here is make or break. Now, if you have the book at home, you'll notice that I do have these little purple flags next to some idioms. And these purple flags, what they mean is these are some of the most common idioms. So if you pick up this book, and there's like 320 business English idioms in here, and if you don't have a lot of time or you want to kind of crunch your learning, you're going to start with those idioms that have the purple flags next to them. They're the most commonly used idioms. And this one here, make or break, is a really common one. You need to know this one. Anything in the book and actually in the M section, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have got four idioms starting with M that do have that purple flag. They're essential. I mean, when I wrote this book, I had 1,000 idioms. I had to bring it down to like a book size with all the exercises and whatnot. And so I brought it down to 320 or so. But I did go through and mark the ones that are the top 50 that you must know. Everyone must know, even if your level is upper intermediate, you have to know this one. So this is the one here, make or break. You need to know it. It means a situation or event that is crucial to the success or failure of something. So either you're going to make something, you're going to reach your goal, you're going to be successful, or you're going to lose, and there's nothing else. Make or break. Okay, this campaign could make or break the product launch. So you have a great new product in your company. You have maybe a kind of modern or innovative marketing campaign. It's either going to be a huge viral success or it's going to bomb. And bomb means to fail spectacularly. So it's a make or break. Either it's going to be very, very successful, or we're going to lose a lot of money and lose a lot of the market. Very common, make or break. If you want, go down below in the comments and use make or break. Let's make sure you know how to use these essential business English idioms. Make or break. Waves. Now, imagine a very still pond. Pond is like a small lake, and you drop a rock into it. So that very peaceful, still pond, you drop a rock into it, it's going to make waves. So this is when something has an impact and it disturbs things. So to make waves is usually used in a negative way. I'd say 75% of the time we'd use this in a negative way. However, if an impact is really large in an industry or in a department, and it really does shake things up, causes disruption, but it could be positive, we also do use it in a positive way. But 75% of the time, to make waves is negative. I'm going to read you the meaning and example here. Okay, make waves to cause disruption or controversy. An example, he tends to make waves in meetings with his coarse language. Okay, so you have one of your managers comes in, and when it comes to meetings, if he gets frustrated, if he gets worked up, that means with high emotions, he'll use some coarse language. This means bad words. And he tends to make waves. So after the meeting, people are still kind of feeling the turbulence of how he acted or what he said. So this is what it means to make waves. Very good one. Next one is meet halfway. This is another one marked with that purple flag that I mentioned in the book. To meet halfway, I mean, I'm here, you're here. Halfway between us is right here. So if we meet halfway, we meet in the middle. This is language of negotiations. This is language of any type of collaborative meetings. This is key and very important. I'm going to read you the meaning and example here. Meaning, meet halfway, to compromise in a negotiation, basically. Example, we're willing to meet you halfway on the pricing if you extend the terms. Okay, so sometimes you have to negotiate with the supplier. Supplier wants to up their price. You don't have the budget for it, but how can you meet halfway? Okay, well, they're going to up the price, but they're going to extend the payment terms, so you have more time to pay the invoice. Whatever the case may be, it's what they want, it's what you want, and you're going to meet in the middle. You're going to meet halfway. Okay, next one here is miss the boat. I love this one. And I say this with I could probably go back to this entire series in every episode. I've probably said, I love this one. When it comes to certain idioms, probably, I don't know, with like 30% of the idioms. Truly, it's so interesting when it comes to idioms. You have this whole picture, this whole scenario. So miss the boat. This is a boat filled with opportunity. And when it leaves port and when it sails off, either you're on the boat or you've missed the boat. And this is what it means. To miss the boat, you fail to be part of something that's moving towards a great opportunity, towards success. Let me read you the meaning and example here. Miss the boat, to miss an opportunity. Example, we didn't invest in the booming crypto, and now we've missed the boat. Aren't we all thinking about that? Bitcoin, however, a decade ago, everyone missed the boat on that. Some didn't, lucky people, but missed the boat. You just absolutely, that boat sailed and you were not on it. That's what it means, miss the boat. If you are in a meeting, a brainstorming session, and you're trying to talk about moving your company or your department in a certain direction, and you really do see value in that direction, this is where you use miss the boat, saying, we don't want to miss the boat. This is a great opportunity. Our competitors are going to be going in this direction. If we miss the boat, we'll be left behind. We'll lose part of the market. So this is really important, to miss the boat. Okay, next one is make a name for oneself. Another one here I put with that, I put with the big purple flag because this is such a common one, to make a name for oneself. If you make a name for yourself, and one's self, you put his self, herself, myself, yourself. If you make a name for yourself, it means your name is recognizable. and established in an industry. This is what it means, and it's positive. Let me read you the meaning and example here. To make a name for oneself, to become well-known and or respected in a particular field or area. Okay, she made a name for herself in the art world with her innovative designs. So an artist, once people recognize your name and go, oh, that name, that's that person, then you've made a name for yourself. That's all it means. So if your name is John Smith and you work in finance, and within the banking world, if that name comes up, John Smith, and people go, oh yeah, John Smith, and they know who you are, they know your accomplishments, they know what you do, what industry you work in, they know who you mix with. Mix with is like the people you move around with, your circle, your professional circle. Then if people go, oh, John Smith, yeah, I know him, well, he's made a name for himself. It means his name is kind of famous. That's a really good one. Okay, next one, money talks. Now, this is from a longer idiom. And the longer idiom is money talks, bull, I don't want to swear. How do I say this? Money talks, bull crap. That's a nicer way of saying BS, if you know what BS means. Money talks, BS walks. And what this means is money has influence. And BS, part of the long idiom, which stands for bull crap. I'm not going to swear. I can't swear in a video. And this just means words. So what it means is people can say all they want. People can show you beautiful presentations on paper, show you everything, but those are just words. And money talks. Money's the one thing that can move a mountain, that has influence. This is what it means. So the original idiom is money talks, BS walks, meaning go. But we've shortened it and we don't even say the BS walks part so much anymore. And it's the exact same idiom, and we don't like to swear. And that fact that we've taken out the BS walks, or the BS part, which is a swear word, it means that we can use money talks in every situation. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly professional. So money talks just means money has influence. So let me read you the meaning and example here. Money talks, financial power or influence often determines decisions or success. Example, in real estate, money talks. Well, we know this, right? If someone says, you find an office you want your company to move into, and they go, no, it's not available. It's not available. Well, you offer them more than what they want. Money talks. It has influence. So that's a great one there. Okay, next one, mover and shaker. This is the last one on this page that does have that purple flag. Mover and shaker is a really common one. A mover and shaker is someone who moves and shakes up industries. This is a VIP. This is someone who's very important. A bigwig is a mover and shaker. Someone who's very powerful, professional, well-known, influential in an industry. Let me read you the meaning and example here. Mover and shaker, an individual who's influential and proactive in a particular field. As a leading entrepreneur in tech, he's considered a mover and shaker. So again, if someone's made a name for themselves, that's one thing. Their name is famous for whatever they've accomplished, whatever they've done. If someone's a mover and shaker, you're probably going to know their name, so it probably would overlap with make a name for oneself. But a mover and shaker also means they have influence in an industry. They are very important. They are people who can change, manipulate, and influence industries. It's a fantastic one. Next one, I love this one too, and this is music to my ears. Now, music to my ears. I bet you have this one in your own language. A lot of other languages have one that's similar. If you do have one that's similar to music to one's ears, put it down in the comments. I love hearing about idioms in different languages. So music to one's ears means I'm happy to hear this. That's all it means. So we've approved your vacation. Oh, that's music to my ears. I've already bought the flight. Or we decided to get you the assistant you wanted. That's music to my ears. I've been hoping to get more help. So I'm just very, very happy to hear something. Let me read you the meaning and example. Music to one's ears. Great news, something good to hear. Example, when Ronit announced she was leaving the company, it was music to my ears. Okay, very last one here, and then we'll go into the quiz. If you're new to this series, the quiz that I do is a dialogue where I give you simple synonyms, simple language, and you have to think of which of these idioms starting with M can be replaced here. Okay, but the very last one here is my hands are tied. Well, imagine you having your two hands tied together. You cannot do anything. This is what it means. When someone wants you to do something, but you have no control in a situation, you're not able to do anything. To change a situation, you can't take action. You say, My hands are tied. Let me read you the meaning and example here. My hands are tied, unable to act due to restrictions or limitations. Example, I'd love to help out, but my hands are tied by the NDA. So you signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. Someone says, oh, give me some tips on what your previous company did to expand in this market. My hands are tied. I signed an NDA. It means I have no control. I can't do anything in this situation. My hands are tied. That's it. Okay, so hopefully you've gone through and you've learned a lot of these great idioms starting with the letter M. Now let's go through and do our quiz. So the quiz is going to be on the next page. The quiz is going to be a correspondence that I'm going to write. It's a letter here or an email from Julia to Nelson. Now this email, I'm going to include very, very basic words. You have to think of an idiom starting with M where you can replace with these words. Let's get started. Okay, correspondence email. Subject, quick project update. Dear Nelson, I wanted to share a brief update on our project. We've really advanced recently, completing key milestones ahead of schedule. Advanced. Think of an idiom that means advanced. If this trend continues, we just might earn a lot in the next quarter. To earn a lot of money. Think of an idiom that could replace earn a lot of money. That said, rising costs have made it harder to stay afloat, and we're reviewing expenses to stay on track. Stay afloat. Stay afloat. If you don't know what that means, stay afloat, it means to be financially healthy, okay? The upcoming marketing campaign is crucial for us. Think of an idiom starting with M that means crucial. The upcoming marketing campaign is crucial for us, and some bold ideas have attracted attention in recent meetings. Attract attention, something that causes people to look and see and understand something's been disrupted. Think of an idiom starting with M for that. We're also negotiating a timeline adjustment with our partners and are ready to compromise. Think of an idiom starting with M that means compromise. However, we need to act soon to avoid missing out on a promising market opportunity. Think of an idiom that means missing out. Thanks so much for your time. Let me know if you'd like to discuss this further. Best, Julia. Okay, so now we have this email. Again, I'm going to read it for you quickly, give you one more second, and then we'll go through and we'll give you the answers. Dear Nelson, I wanted to share a brief update on our project. We've advanced recently, completing key milestones ahead of schedule. If this trend continues, we might just earn a lot in the next quarter. That said, rising costs have made it harder to stay afloat, and we're reviewing expenses to stay on track. The upcoming marketing campaign is crucial for us, and some bold ideas have attracted attention in recent meetings. We're also negotiating a timeline adjustment with our partners and ready to compromise. However, we need to act soon to avoid missing out on a promising market opportunity. Thanks for your time. Let me know if you'd like to discuss this further. Best, Julia. Okay, did you get all those idioms? All those words in bold there up on the screen can be replaced with an idiom that you've learned that starts with M. Let's take a look and I'll give you the example or the answers here. Okay, here we go. I wanted to share a brief update on our project. We've made headway recently. Advanced. We've made headway recently. Completing key milestones ahead of schedule. If this trend continues, we might just make a killing in the next quarter. Make a killing, earn a lot of money. That said, rising costs have really made it hard to make ends meet. Make ends meet, stay afloat, be financially healthy. And we're reviewing expenses to stay on track. The upcoming marketing campaign is make or break for us. Make or break, crucial, key, incredibly important, make or break. And some bold ideas have really made some waves in recent meetings. So some bold ideas really disrupted recent meetings, made some waves. We're also negotiating a timeline adjustment with our partners and are ready to meet them halfway. Meet them halfway, meet in the middle, find a compromise. However, we need to act soon to avoid missing the boat on a promising marketing opportunity. Miss the boat, miss a promising opportunity. Thanks so much for your time. Let me know if you'd like to discuss this further. Okay, we've done it. We've gone through essential business English idioms, starting with the letter M. Thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy the video, I encourage you to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you back for the next letter.